best way to stay healthy is by making sure you're putting the right things in your body, which is easier said than done when you're trying to figure out the right diet and supplements to take. Good news. Cardimax Immune Booster has you covered. Right now, American Party Podcast listeners get 30% off your next 4 orders. Use the promo code American at cardimax.com. That's CARDOMAX.com, helping you achieve your max. Yo.
Oh, yeah.
What's up?
Man, I missed you. Missed you.
Yeah?
You know, I don't like when we go. You know, sometimes we usually do like Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday. So, you know, I always look forward to, you know, when I leave here Wednesday to seeing you Tuesday. You know, I don't like it going a week.
Yeah, it's rough, right?
And you made it rough on me.
Well, circumstance did that.
Well, I missed you.
Thanks.
You didn't even FaceTime me. You didn't call me. You didn't, like, nothing.
No.
I know you missed me.
No, not really. But, you know, that's not really an insult. I just don't feel that. You're either in front of me or you don't exist. Right? That's how your brain is supposed to work. Why would I remember some shit that's not around right now?
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm either in front of you or I don't exist.
Correct.
I don't know. That's how life works.
No, definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
What have you been doing this weekend?
Man, you know, I got my new gym set up, trying to get that thing launched on Friday. So I've been busting my ass on that. Just
sounds fun.
It's so much fun. Just, you know, man, just living the dream. Just living the dream every day, and your shadows. What about you? Tell us about where you were.
We were in Nashville with Rob O'Neill, who you know.
Never heard of her.
And his wife, Jessica, who's apparently grown quite fond of mine. So that's going to be great with those two assholes hanging out.
Yeah.
Bunch of people showed up. Johnny Damon, John Daly, Kid Rock, some other folks.
Who was the best golfer?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the best golfer there was definitely John Daly. He's a professional golfer, right?
You think?
Yeah.
You think he was the best?
Probably, yeah. Unless, you know, I have some hidden talent that I'm unaware of.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I heard you say that, and I knew he was a professional golfer, but I thought you might have beat him.
No, I've played golf actually once on an actual course. I've been to a driving range like 4 or 5 times, but I've never even tried to learn how to play it. I should probably look into it. It seems like it might be fun.
Yeah.
Just who's got time for that horse shit? But yeah, it was a good time. Bray Care was there. We were fucking around doing dumb shit.
Brittany, I want to take this. I want to just like go ahead and set the record straight. Jessica is not your best friend. You can text her and ask her who her best friend is, and she will tell you it's me.
She did mention that, but you know, I think maybe you're in competition now. So let's just recap what's happened. Brittany's come into the picture. You've lost me and Jessica all within the course of a couple of months.
This is not true.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Everybody knows it. Anyways, on to the show. Start the show.
You don't get to fucking end it like that. You don't get to end on your fucking terms.
Sure I do. Do what I want.
No, Brittany, no. No, Brittany, you think you just come in and you just steal all my fucking friends and you were my future, Dan. We had the future together.
Now I'm your past.
Now you're my fucking past.
Yeah.
And so, Brittany, this is how I will figure out how to take care of this.
It sounds menacing.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks.
Okay, so on to the show now.
Yeah, I'm going to our Instagram page because a lot of people posted on this. 900 people. Shit. All right, so we're going to read some of these.
But I also don't think it's fair that I have to compete with Brittany. Like, who the fuck can compete with Brittany?
No, she can. For a average height white woman can jump really high. She's been dunking on people just in random
it's just
basketball
fucked
courts.
up.
It's really
like
weird.
that's my competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, look.
Well, but anyways.
That's circumstance getting you again.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am the goose. Ray is a loser who makes his bed in a hotel room. Only a fucking sociopath would do something like that, by the way. It's a very weird. He made a video. Look at all my stuff all nice and laid out for the morning. I'm like, what are you? Yeah, that means to me that you have mental faculty issues because you can't just wake up and remember things. You have to set everything out as soon as you remember them. That's how birds operate. And their brains are the size of your dick, right?
So
Super
it's
small.
huge,
No,
fucking
no.
huge. Done. So you don't make your, you don't.
I would never make the bed. Brittany makes it, I guess, probably sometimes. But really, we're not like,
You don't make the bed.
why would you make your bed?
Oh,
I make it when I take the sheets off, wash them, and put them back on, sure. But I don't like fucking refold everything. That's stupid. Why would you? What is the purpose of that?
Dude, I could
Stop
not live
trying to
like
tell
that.
me why I should be doing it, and you tell me why I should.
you just told me to stop telling you why you
No,
should
no.
be doing it, but tell you
Stop-
why you should.
stop-
Maybe that's the first start.
Stop worrying about why I don't do it.
Yeah.
And tell me why I should. That's what I meant to say.
I mean, like I do it because I can't think straight if I walk into my room and my bed's not made.
Right. So you've got problems. The bed isn't the issue here. It's you that's the issue.
Well, I mean, it's about organization.
Okay.
It's about a systematic approach to life.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Again.
And getting out of the bed and that bed being made is part. I mean, why do you fucking wash your dishes if you're just gonna fucking eat on them again? Why do you wash your pans
what?
if you're just gonna fucking eat it again?
That's not even close to the same
Same
thing.
thing.
No, it's not. I take my
Bro,
sheets
same
off
thing.
and wash them once every
Same
10 to
thing.
14 days.
If you're gonna keep eating with a fork the rest of the day, if you're gonna eat with a fork again that day, why fucking wash it?
the
Just leave it on
same
the fucking
fork
table. Yeah.
that I wouldn't wash it. I mean, I might use water to wash it off, but I'm not going to put it in the dishwasher before I use it again. That's ridiculous. Why the hell would you do that? Doesn't make any sense. It takes a lot longer for bacteria to grow than that. The point of it is to keep certain bacteria out of your body.
Dude.
That's it. And by the way, making your bed is not commensurate with washing your
I
sheets.
mean, what?
It's not the same thing. Not even close. So fuck off. Assholes. Let's
I think
see.
you're just insecure because you don't wash your, you don't make your bed.
I don't assign any value to making my bed. So no, I wouldn't feel insecure about that. That's a ridiculous thing
Do you
to expect. Yeah, Admiral McCraven Del Santo. Look, oh, wake up and make your bed. You can be like me. Look at my uniform. Shut the fuck up, turd. Nobody gives a fuck about that bullshit. Where's Adam McCraven right now?
crushing life?
No, he's not.
What do you
If
mean
he was
he's not?
crushing life, he'd be asking why.
He just put his next book out.
Oh, I'm
like-
sure he's making plenty of money.
Dude,
Why
he-
isn't he speaking up about the incompetence of the Biden administration?
Well, you know, I'll call him and ask him.
Grow a set of fucking nuts. And also, by the way, before we get into this shit today on this Scheller guy, whatever you feel about him and how all that goes, where the fuck are everybody's always like, well, we need to elect more veterans to Congress. Where are all these veterans in Congress
I mean, so like
making a fucking stand and
let's-
asking questions about this guy being detained indefinitely?
Well, I mean, I was about to say that today. You know, I was about to say it today. Like, you know, I want to know. You hear them; they all have a fucking opinion, and they want to be voiced on their fucking Instagram
Until it's time
about
to
everything
fucking do
else.
something for real,
Until it's
yeah.
time to do something for real, right?
Yeah.
It's fucked, man.
Bunch of fucking bitches. I don't want to hear anybody talking about hiring or electing more veterans to Congress until those veterans in Congress start fucking doing something, especially for other veterans. Fuck you guys. Man, what an embarrassment to this country. Speaking of embarrassment to this country,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
we know that a lot of people are having issues with making personal decisions about their body. Now those personal decisions are going to start costing them, literally.
Yeah,
People all over the country right now are resigning
they are.
or forcing companies to fire them. Like a bunch of healthcare workers got fired yesterday
Yeah,
because they don't want or feel like they need to get the vaccine for
Yeah.
COVID. Now, this isn't a critique of the efficacy of the vaccine or an opinion on it being dangerous or anything like that. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is all the evidence we have right now shows that natural immunity is quite a bit better
okay.
and more persistent. So if somebody says they've had that virus already and can prove that with an antibody test, there is literally no reason for them to get vaccinated. It's just stupid. However, that's not really the point here. The point is we're allowing the continuation of something that's been going on for a few years, and that is it is the institutions in America that protect us are under attack and have been for a while. Police, gun ownership, masculinity, even
For sure.
right? The military since fucking Vietnam,
Being white.
being white. Like I don't know how being white protects us necessarily.
No, I'm not saying it protects us, but I'm saying
like
it's
trying
under
to-
attack.
yeah, trying to-
I mean, you got critical race theory going around.
Yeah. Trying to demonize. Well, what makes us strong? I guess one of the things that does protect us is
Yeah, obviously I didn't say being white protects us.
no. One of the things that protects us is that ability to communicate with one another and observe history and get along
Yeah.
and try to get better as a group and not divide each other into all these little groups.
For sure.
What these people seem to be telling us is that we're right, and not only are you wrong, but you're incapable of thinking for yourself. You're not entitled to any accountability, and if you persist, we'll throw your ass in jail or fire you or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll take away your livelihood. We'll take away your ability to provide for your family. So, how far down the line, I guess, from your child's mouth, where the food they eat goes in, and people fucking with that logistical line. Like, at what point is it? Obviously, if somebody comes in and tries to rob your house, you can pop them in the fucking head, right? No question about that. That's a black. And on the white side, not the person, the fucking situation. Black and white situation. No gray in here. And then white.
What is
Some dude that did something by accident that maybe had some downstream effect. Obviously, you're not going to fucking get involved in a fight with that person about that because that's nonsense. But somewhere in between is where you start doing shit.
Well, so I mean, I agree with 90% of what you're saying. I think that the principle of this is why, I mean, you look at the abortion thing right now, right?
Yeah.
Like Texas just went extreme. Like it's extreme one way, or it's either you can't have an abortion, up to 6 or 8 weeks, and then you're 16, whatever it is, and then or it's like, hey, you can kill this baby as it comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like fucking both extremes. One side, depending on what side's ruling, right? Now you got. But here's what I say with the vaccine. I get the principle of it, but I don't understand. I still am back to I just don't understand why everybody is surprised, right? And here's what I'm saying. Your kids can't go to school if they don't have their fucking shots. Like, I mean, I get emails. I can show you emails right now where one of my daughters, they go through, I have to walk in with a fucking list of shots from their doctor, like a transcript of what they got. Or guess what? They can't be at school.
Right.
I can't go be a firefighter or an EMT if I don't show proof that I have these fucking shots. I can't even go to paramedic school if I don't show proof.
Which shots are we talking about?
I'd have to look. Measles, MDMR, all that shit, right?
Okay.
So flu, maybe flu. I don't have to look. But anyways, these are all vaccines that somebody, now I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, it was before me and you even knew about fucking vaccines, right? Were put into place. So it's like, I totally respect nobody wanting to get this, but then it's like, if that's what they're, this job's going to require, you can also choose to go work somewhere else, right?
No, you can't. If the entire healthcare industry says you can't do that and you're in the healthcare industry, then no, you can't. But let me address what you said before. Yeah, there have been requirements for vaccinations to enter certain places like schools and healthcare, police, first responder stuff, et cetera. Smallpox mortality rate before vaccines, 30%. Okay?
Yeah.
Measles, 16% in children. Polio, 2 to 5% in children, 15 to 30% in adults.
Yep.
Not even, these are apples and fucking horses we're talking about.
I mean,
here,
what
dude.
about anthrax? What about
Anthrax isn't a
Moderna?
real threat.
Before we'll talk about the military.
There's a sliding scale between
talk about
how
the military.
likely there's a sliding scale between how likely you are to actually come into contact with it, then its viral passage and its actual negative effects, right?
So what?
Somewhere on that plane.
So then let's set with the military because everybody's getting out there. I mean, I didn't have an option to get anthrax. You might have been able to avoid it, but it wasn't an option for me.
I mean, you could have avoided it pretty. I avoided the swine flu thing pretty easily, but these days it's different for sure.
I mean, I couldn't have avoided it. I can tell you right now, I couldn't have avoided it. So what do you say to that? I mean, what was the chances of me getting a fucking anthrax?
Well, what were the chances that we were in Iraq for weapons of mass destruction? That same number, probably, right?
So my
I
point.
mean, you had a better
so
chance
my point
of
is,
running into anthrax if you worked for the Postal Service.
So my point to it is, I don't know why everyone is surprised that.
Well, I don't think anybody's really surprised. I mean, maybe some people. I can't speak to that, but I'm certainly not surprised by this.
But it's like
People try to do this shit all the time, and there's a twofold reason. One, power. Two, money, right? The pharmaceutical industry is making record profits right now.
and it's politics, and it's fucking politics, right? It's about creating divide between people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about making an enemy, right? So again, I go back to, I just don't understand. Do I think it's dumb? I think it's fucking dumb. I think it's stupid. I got you. Check, right? Like, there's nothing scientific about this. I mean, it's the same thing with the gun argument. Like, there's no argument that guns are what are killing people, right? But they want to take the guns away.
Yes.
From everybody. It's the same thing.
Yep, very dumb.
But I just don't I just don't get the.
It's not just about COVID or this particular vaccine or even politics, really. The problem is that people are figuring out now that the left is using the division that they've been creating.
For
with
sure.
The 1619 shit, the vax versus anti-vax with their language like the pandemic of the unvaccinated, with the black versus white shit and social justice, rich versus poor,
Cops.
even though they hate poor people more than anybody.
Yep.
Police, whatever the fuck.
Now Border Patrol.
Yeah, they're using the division that they've created to gerrymander the ranks of
sure.
all of these institutions that protect us, and these employment purges that we're seeing right now that we're going to talk about here in a few minutes in policing and healthcare and the military are calculated towards gaining control of those institutions.
For sure.
So answer me this, and then this is why people are fucking pissed off. It's not about being, even if you were required to have a certain vaccination to do something, right? Because people will make up in their own minds, is this really dangerous enough to require that? Because I didn't even realize I had it the first time I had it. You know what I mean? Obviously, the answer is going to be no to that question. So you tell me, why would a political party want to seize control of police and the military and the healthcare system?
Well, I mean,
why would they want to do that?
Because that's power.
Yeah. So
I mean,
fuck
that's
them.
that's
why.
That's the most powerful.
The details of the case and all the efficacy of the vaccines and all that bullshit, don't care.
But
fuck you. That's the answer.
But do you think? But let me ask you this: do you think that fighting it is causing the divide too? Do you think it plays into their game?
A little bit, yeah. But look, that's the game.
You know what I mean?
There's no other way to play that game, right? If a confluence of enough power gets together, there's no way to stop it unless you let it come to fruition and then you fucking burn it down, right? Like, you don't pop a blackhead or whatever the fuck until it turns into an actual zet that you could pop it or whatever. You have to let that thing. You don't pick fruit before it's ripe. And believe me, these lefty pussies that are trying to start a goddamn war with us, they are the fruit.
Oh, for sure. But I just think the problem that frustrates me about it is why are we still talking about, obviously, the vaccine? They're gonna if it's for the government, they can fire you. Like what are you going to do about it, right? But like, it takes off all these important topics right now. Like, have you heard about Afghanistan in the fucking past? Like, like they wanted to get the media cycle off of how bad Afghanistan was fucked up.
For
So
sure.
you know what the Democrats came out and said? We're going to mandate it. And they know it'll never fucking hold. But you know what it did? It took all the attention off of what was going on in Afghanistan.
In a way, but I think
How fucked up that was. The border.
I think the attention is on all these other things is a symptom of that we're fighting the same battle on multiple fronts.
For sure.
In dealing with the Joint Chiefs, feeling like they can usurp the authority of the executive office and make phone calls to other people. Like, the president knew we were making phone calls. Like, the president knew you were making a phone call. Yeah, he didn't know you were going to
Go tell them.
Like, offer to tell him in advance if we attacked, you fucking piece of shit.
For sure.
Like, those are two very separate things. That shit's happening. Down in Border Patrol with his Mayorkas dude in charge of DHS, he is a fucking clown. This guy, he's completely fucked that up. But these are all symptoms of the same virus. And the virus is that the left in this country and their cohorts on the right, don't get me fucking wrong about that. All these establishment people, whatever the fuck you are out there, if you think that the integrity of your fucking power or power itself in government is more important than the integrity of our Constitution, then you can suck my fucking
But
dick,
you don't
dude.
think that they're sitting here fucking. You don't think that they're sitting here playing this right? So like obviously you can get the other side, into agreement that this is fucked up in Afghanistan, that we're leaving people there to die. Like so what they do is the border.
If you release enough bad information at once, people don't know what to do.
So, but my point to you is the vaccine of all of it, like they're going back to that to try to make people be like, oh, well, the right is just fighting everything.
Yeah,
The
for
right's
sure.
just fighting everything, right? And that's my point to it is like, I don't give a fuck if you get a vaccine or not. I really don't care. And I think all this shit is so stupid when I hear like people say, well, if you're in the hospital and you don't have the vaccine, you shouldn't get treated. No, fuck you. You're a fucking idiot. Like everybody gets treated equally. Like
Do no harm, right?
that has nothing to do with it, right? People who say that's like me saying, well, if you're overweight and you come in and have a heart attack, then you are last priority.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fuck, like that's the ignorance.
Yeah.
But my point is I think that this fucking vaccine thing is a distraction.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All of these things are
But
distractions.
but it goes back to let's argue about the vaccine instead
it's
of focus
because
on the shit that like you could get everybody behind
for sure.
of that's an easier topic. Not an easier topic, but it's a more black and white topic.
It is, and that's why the vaccine thing is everybody understands what it means to put something in their body.
Yeah.
Right? Especially Giorgio. I don't know where he is, but he definitely
sure.
he definitely knows a lot about that. I think that one hits the most home, unless you're one of the families of the service members that died. Out of all the shit that's going on right now, that one probably hits home most for you. And I don't mean that you think that your body is more important than a dead soldier. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that's the thing that resonates most with people is their own fucking physical form.
For sure.
Pain or cold or hot or whatever the fuck. Those innate senses are the things that really stimulate people's minds the most. So I can understand why it continues to come back to this because it's about liberty, right? This is what
Yeah.
America's about. America's not necessarily about holding bad military leaders accountable. Like certainly there are things in our legal system frameworks to deal with people like General Milley, right? And hopefully he will get dealt with eventually. But the essence of the Constitution is liberty. And when you start telling people what they can and can't do in a way that doesn't make sense and they can clearly see is not for public safety, they're going to fucking tell you to go fuck yourself. And I think they're well within their right and appropriate to do so.
And they're already doing it, right? Like nobody's wearing masks. You know what I mean? Like, and if they are, it's below their nose. Like, it's on their chin.
How many times
how
many times is some lefty politician or one of these woke turds going to be behind the scene with their mask off, put it on behind the
For the
screen,
picture.
and then walk out and then take it back off? Like, dude, we saw that whole thing.
Yeah.
What was the point of that? And they would say, I guarantee you, if you really asked them, if you got them to be honest, they'd be like, look, I mean, it's for the dumb people. It's for the people that don't understand. Again, like I said, not only are you fucking wrong and we're right, but you don't deserve an opinion. You are incapable of thinking for yourself. You're not getting any accountability and you're not entitled to any. And if you persist, we'll take your job, throw you in jail. Fuck you. And not down with that. So,
But the other thing is, I want to see all these people who are bitching about the vaccine right now. How many of them voted?
yeah, that's a good question too.
That's my question, right? Like I don't think you get a right to talk about shit if you're not out there fucking voting. If you're not out, that's my point. My point is
Maybe.
you can't, and this is the issue I have with all this, with every bit of it, whether it's the gun control, I don't give a fuck what it is, right? Abortion, any of it, vaccine, like everybody's just bitching. Everybody's just bitching.
Well, it goes both ways, right? Thoughts and prayers.
Well,
is
there
the
you
other
go.
side
Let's
of that
hashtag
coin.
it.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the mass exoduses, and we'll do some ads and come back to this. So the biggest one is actually healthcare, but we'll do that one last. Police. Recently, dozens of Massachusetts state police submitted resignations in response to a vaccine mandate put into effect by Governor Charlie Baker. The mandate put in place by Baker goes into effect on October 17th and applies to all executive department employees, including state troopers and state officials. The order states that any employees unwilling to get vaccinated will face disciplinary action, including possible termination. Some of the officers plan to transfer to other departments that are offering alternatives to vaccines such as masks and regular testing, et cetera. And at least one officer has resigned with no plans to return to the Massachusetts State Police at all. Last week, a police union requested a pause, arguing that the state needed to bargain with workers before implementing the mandate, but the request was ultimately denied by a judge, which is weird.
That is weird.
I mean, how do you not even have a fucking hearing on this?
Yeah.
Governor Baker made a public statement defending the mandate, saying the following. I think it's critically important for public officials who deal directly with the public on a regular basis who have no idea whether the people they're dealing with are vaccinated or not. And those people who are dealing with them ought to believe that they are vaccinated. Why? Why? There's no scientific basis for any of this. Approximately 20% of the state police employees are unvaccinated, which could lead to issues with staffing should they resign in protest of the vaccine. And I think now that a couple of major groups have done this, you're going to see a lot more.
For sure.
You're going to see a lot of Tier 1 operators from the military leave, maybe Tier 2 operators as well. You're going to see a fuck ton of police leaving. And then we're going back to what I was saying before. They used information operations, constant negative press with their buddies in the media and social media to hammer police, hammer the military, hammer Republicans in general, anybody that even thinks that Trump may have done something good at any point, and people that just want liberty, and define them as evil now, right? They made them, they made choice, personal choice, synonymous with disobedience, which is a fucking, I mean, it's
crazy.
That's not good.
No.
That they've done this stuff. And now they're going to be left with a military and a police force and a healthcare agency that is completely rife, filled to the brim with sycophants, yes men, who will do whatever the government tells them to fucking do. And that is not how this is supposed to work. The branches of government are not supposed to work that way. Right?
No.
They're not. They're supposed to be checks and balances on one another, not complements to each other. That is not how any of this is supposed to work. So I think we probably need to do something about this pretty soon. Some kind of convention of states, but I think you can see to some degree what is already happening, and that is people who think these losers are crazy are reaching out and saying, well, you can come have a job with us. For example, Wheelchair down here in Tejas, after there was some big hubbub because Democrats don't understand how horses work. They took horses away from Border Patrol, and now they're going to start firing people, I guess, or whatever the fucking Wheelchair was, good enough to say if the Border Patrol fires you, we'll hire you immediately, right? But that's what's going to happen. The rational people are going to start absorbing all of the other rational people.
So I think I think this blows up in their face. So you know what I think this does is, all this does is unites the fucking strong even more.
It does, yeah, right.
Like all
but
this
that,
does.
But doesn't that make the strong a target at that point?
Yeah, but does the strong worry about being a fucking target? You know what I mean? Isn't the strong was a target in an organization by
Sure.
themselves?
Yeah.
Now they're
for
going to
sure.
be a target together, right?
I think it was I've said this a bunch of times on the show. I think the left has been making some really bad mistakes and not understanding how bad their mistakes
dude,
are.
and that's what I'm telling you. Like, again, like we get down, and that's we get down a lot on this country here, right? And I don't want people to think that. Like, obviously, we got problems.
Yeah.
But the difference is that with all these problems, there's opportunities. Right? With all these issues, there's opportunities here, right? Like, don't get vaccinated. All it's going to do is unite people, right?
Yeah.
It's going to unite the strong. It's going to unite they are fucking themselves.
That's a very Eastern ideology. You
It's-
know that, right?
yeah,
It's the idea of water running down a hill.
Yeah. Dude,
And
it's calling out the weak.
It creates erosion paths here and there, draws.
Yeah.
Draws is what we would call them because
Yep.
we're institutionalized military people, but it creates these paths of erosion and the rest of the water follows them.
Exactly.
That's how life works too, by
And
the way.
I think this will pull us out of, you know what I think's more dangerous is leaving strong in organizations where they are overpowered by the weak. Because eventually, by themselves, they'll get weak.
For sure, but even it's not even just
Dude, I'm telling you,
it's not even just like that. It's like the mob in Rome, right? The mob, and here's what happened in Rome. They had the mob, quote unquote, the mob, which were all the citizens of Rome, the people that they kept around to do all their work and to make sure they were defended and to make sure all their shit continued to operate correctly and to be their slaves, for example.
Yep.
And on the outside, you had Gaul, Spain, all this shit. They were constantly starting shit with them, right? Fucking Caesar goes halfway across France and usurps half of it. Illegal wars, as they called it. So they had, people thought Rome was big. And yeah, there were Roman soldiers all over the place. But anytime those 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 indigenous soldiers to Gaul or wherever the fuck else it was decided they had had enough of Rome, they would murder those fucking 15 Romans that were there. And
Yeah.
that'd be the end of it, right? Until Rome brought an army in, but they can't always do that because maybe their army's over there now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're creating these vacuums, these multiple front wars with people who are starting to realize that we're not on different sides of this argument. You know what I mean? That's a big fucking problem. It's not a good idea to have three enemies and then through your own actions convince them to agree with each other. It's exactly opposite of what you would want to do.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing.
It's exactly what they're doing. When you start,
Yeah.
you can attack.
I mean, they're fucking them. Like they are literally
Yeah.
fucking themselves.
You can attack all sorts of different things, but what you can't do is a direct assault on people's liberty in a way that manifests itself that in a way that resonates with multiple classes of people at the same time.
Well, and I think that if they'd have been smart, they wouldn't have tried to do this on so many fronts.
No, that's
They would
Hitler,
have-
that was Hitler's problem.
Well, they
You know
got
what I mean?
they got mixed up too much, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, when they tried to play this war on cops,
Yeah.
well, you started seeing, they tried to make it about cops against, African Americans.
Yeah.
And then you started seeing African Americans come out and start talking about, well, we want them in our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like they're just
That was a study that came out of Oakland that was conducted by a liberal newspaper, by the way.
exactly.
Just so you're
So
aware.
like you look at all this, man, and the only little bit of credibility that the left had to spark these problems up was the leadership up there, right? The politicians.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're losing it. They're fucking losing it. So now what? Now what, right? They're almost out. I mean, I truly believe that they're almost out of. There's no way that a Democrat gets elected as president in the next election.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
0% chance.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, they're losing a lot of their base elements, and one of them is unions. And unions are not happy about these mandates. By the way, they do not like when any quote unquote management, which is they're fucking stupid. Anyways,
I'll tell you what's not stupid.
well, hold on. The management even appearing to oppress the workers from a union's perspective, their only job in life is to stop that from happening.
Yeah.
So when it happens and there's nothing they can do about it, they don't feel great. The fucking police union guy from Massachusetts said the state police are already critically short-staffed and acknowledged this by the unprecedented moves which took troopers from specialty units that investigate homicides, terrorism, computer crimes, arsons, gangs, narcotics, human trafficking, and returned them to uniform patrol. So they can't even keep guys out on patrol. So all their specialty units that are stopping people from getting raped and murdered and stopping terrorism, gone, right?
Yep.
And now it's police resignations are only a small part of the total number of people who have been chosen to lead their professions, though. It's happened less in police, although I think it's going to happen more soon, and we'll get to that.
Well, I mean, and this is the same thing going on in Austin right now. Did you see that? Did you see that article? Mm-mm. So this came out 6 days ago. Austin police officers to stop responding to non-emergency calls in person amid dire staff crisis. So basically, what they're going to start doing is looking. So we get when calls come out, they come out priority 1, priority 2, or they come out high, medium, whatever. They're going to stop. They're going to stop showing up to calls, because these non-emergency calls, because they don't have enough staff.
Yeah. I mean, but they did that last year during COVID too.
Yeah, but this
Because they didn't want to. They weren't going to show up to help you get your cat out of a tree, or whatever the fuck. It just they deemed it unworthy of a risk or some shit like that. I don't know. But
I mean, I bet they take it to where it's life threatening. Like if nobody's got a gun to you or you're not getting beat up actively,
yeah.
you can just file a report online. Is what they're going to do.
I mean, look, a lot of major metropolitan areas, New York, fucking the Bay Area, LA, they've been doing that for years. It's you literally go to a form online. If your car gets broken into and all your shit gets stolen out
So
of it,
you do the investigating yourself.
yes, correct.
You fill a form out online. They send you a Sherlock Holmes kit, and then you submit your evidence.
Fucking idiots. Well,
What do you think is going to happen with crime rate?
the same thing that happened everywhere that they defunded police and have now had to refund them.
Man,
Fucking stupid. What's not stupid is Ghostbed. They've been a loyal sponsor for 5 years, and everyone loves them. Mattress has a 20-year warranty. You can try it out for 101 nights and send it back if you don't like it, but we're sure you will not have that issue. Now, we're in Texas. It's hot as fuck. Even though right now it's kind of not bad because it rained yesterday, but the cooling technology on these things it's a lifesaver. Big, dumb, sweaty dudes all over the place here in Texas, and we just can't handle it. They continue this deal. It's been going on for what?
oh,
I think since Labor Day.
yeah. I mean, Ghost Bed, 40% off bundles.
Yeah, so you can get
Yeah.
the mattress and the adjustable base, and then everything else you buy with those two items is all 40% off the entire thing. 30% off anything else. If you use the code Drinking Bros at ghostbed.com/Drinking Bros, you can buy a mattress for like $35 a month. They got that 0 down, 0
20-year
percent
warranty?
financing plan, 20-year warranty. Yeah, it's crazy.
101 nights. You can go in there. You could puzzle in it. 101 nights.
Puzzle, is that a euphemism for
For what?
fuck?
What's fuck? What is fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, would you like that when you say fuck you? Like, dude, why would you say that in your bed?
I don't know. I like the adjustable base.
Yeah, me too. Especially when you want to lay, like when you want to lay and you want to raise it up so you can get your puzzle up a little higher to put it together when you want it to stay flat.
It's
Dude,
the last one.
do you ever play Yahtzee
the last
in
free one.
your bed?
No, I don't know. Actually, how do you? Is that the one with all the dice?
Yeah, you put it in a cup, roll it. I mean, I tell you what, dude, you get a chick in your bed and play Yahtzee, man, they love it.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that's accurate. Anyways, yeah, this is that adjustable base. If you have if you have indigestion a lot, if you raise the head of your bed up a little bit, you can usually fix the indigestion you get late at night. I don't know. It's about your esophageal tube or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, next up, we got a new one here. This is one of my favorites. Actually, I took these fucking things on to Nashville with me. It's Overland.
Anal beads? Oh.
Overland Slippies.
Oh, they're so badass.
Yeah, it's a family-owned American heritage brand that puts comfort and quality first for nearly 50 years. They use expert craftsmanship to pair the highest quality merino sheepskin, which is naturally moisture-wicking, temperature-regulating, and antimicrobial, with supportive memory foam midsoles in order to make slippers that feel better and wear better for longer. Now, everybody knows, all you dicks know, that I'm a big Slippies guy. That's the one thing I can say to Jared that really makes him mad. I don't know why. He hates the word Slippies. And I love it. And I also love Slippies. I wear them everywhere. We just got back from Nashville with that event with Rob O'Neill and the boys, and I took my Slippies with me. And I feel like I should probably get a second pair for the office here. Like Mr. Rogers, I show up dressed however I dress, and I change into my Slippies when I get here. It gets me in the zone, like over the top, and turning my hat backwards. So everyone needs slippers. Don't be an asshole and say you don't. It's a really nice treat. It's like a really soft towel. You know what I mean? It just makes your life better. If you want a pair of these well-made, comfier than you can imagine slippers, I would say these are the ones to get for sure. So they also offer 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't like it, tell them to fuck off. But you will like it. They're the best slippers I've ever had.
I mean, they feel amazing.
Yeah, they really do. So what?
It like, they kind of like coddle your feet. You know?
Yeah.
They're
like rainbow sandals, wherein they kind of form to your foot shape over the first couple of days you're wearing them.
Honestly, like
I love those things.
and I don't want this to go too far or anything, and to tell too much on you, Dan. But honestly, when they're on my feet, it makes me feel like when when we're hanging out and you're the big spoon.
Yeah. Yeah, I have large feet.
No,
That's-
when your arms are wrapped around me.
I'm not doing that. So don't wait another day to slip into something way more comfortable. Get the best, highest quality sheepskin slippers on the market at overland.com/American Party. You'll get free shipping and free returns, and I recommend you go today because these slippers are so dope that they sell out from time to time. That's Overland, overland.com/American Party, overland.com/American Party. Stick your feet in some sheep. I just made that up. Is that good? Anybody? Fuck you guys. You get no support around here.
Yeah, because you suck.
That's why I have to wear slippers in the first place, because you assholes give me no support. Makes my feet hurt.
Dude, I support you all the time.
Somebody who Michael Milano says sounds like doodogs. I'm not going to lie, kind of is.
Yeah.
They're fucking comfortable as shit.
Yeah. Smash that like.
Doodogs. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I've got some of those wool line Crocs too, Al, and they make my fucking feet sweat like crazy. No, sorry, Bert Koontz, but I appreciate the gift, but I still wear them. But damn, dude. Quit being a dick. So on to military resignations. We haven't seen many of those yet, only 2. One of them has been unsuccessful so far, but the other one is Paul Douglas. Recently, an article was circulated which claimed that a number of Air Force officers resigned in response to recent vaccine mandates put in place by the U.S. government. Later, the article was debunked, and to date, there have only been one. I just wanted to address that up top because that article was not true. There's only been one verified case of a member of the military resigning due to vaccine mandates. In mid-September, U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Paul Douglas Haig submitted a resignation letter after serving in the Army for 19 years. By the way, that means he's foregoing his pension.
Yeah, 1 year from it.
Yeah.
That's millions.
Yeah, like $2 million at that rank, Lieutenant Colonel. In his letter, Haig specifically cited the recent vaccine mandate for service members, writing, "First and foremost, I am incapable of subjecting myself to the unlawful, unethical, immoral, and tyrannical order to sit still and allow a serum to be injected into my flesh against my will and better judgment." Now, it's pretty weird language to use. Haig also mentioned governors and mayors forcibly locked down millions of Americans, restricting them from their unalienable right to pursue happiness, forcing them out of their jobs and their ability to participate in the most basic and fundamental rights life offers because of their personal beliefs and values. A complete lack of confidence in the presidential administration and secretaries directing the military, as demonstrated by the sudden and rash at best, but pushing traitorous withdrawal from Afghanistan. I don't know what he means by that. What I view as an ideological Marxist takeover of the military and United States government at their upper echelons. I think people need to really be careful about using the phrase Marxist because I don't feel like he knows what it means.
Yeah. Well,
Now, I understand it's similar in authoritarianism for sure, but it's also similar to fascism. I think this is something new, maybe a little combination of those two things. Maybe you should expect out of a country like China, which is kind of half communist, half corporatist, at any rate. While there's only been one verifiable military resignation due to the vaccine mandates, some lawmakers are pushing to prevent members of the armed forces from being dishonorably discharged due to refusing the vaccine. So,
I mean, I don't think that there should be any way that they're dishonorably discharged.
no, absolutely not. I mean, and to be honest, you can get that overturned.
Yeah, well, but you can only get it up one.
Right.
So you can get it to other than,
OTH,
yeah, but I mean, it's still, I mean, people, like some jobs require it to be an honorable discharge. So it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they're telling healthcare workers right now, police, members of the military. You can only keep your livelihood if you do what we tell you to do. Mm-hmm. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I know, I mean, as a firefighter, you know, my girlfriend is a paramedic. I mean, they're not required to get it.
No.
But like,
Especially if you've had it already, it'd be done. I mean, look, if it makes you feel more comfortable to get it after you've already had it, that's fine. But the amount that the vaccine after exposure would add to your immunity at that point is probably less risky, or rather, less risky. Or it mitigates less risk than you take on by getting the vaccine with the myocardia or whatever the fuck bullshit going around, right?
So yeah, I
with the
mean,
way it affects your heart, because there's heavy metals in it. So, I think you probably lose more by getting it after the shot than the shot would give you,
but I don't think,
in terms of risk mitigation.
I don't think. I mean, I haven't heard of anybody going in and testing if they got the antibodies. Before they get the vaccine.
I have a lot of people
Yeah, I haven't.
that do that, but yeah, I don't. That might be two separate groups of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
I know
know.
a lot of people who have gotten antibody tests, but I don't think they would have gotten a vaccine afterwards.
Yeah.
Probably. Why would you? Anyways, the legislation sponsored by Representative Mark Green, which prohibits dishonorable discharge for troops who refuse COVID vaccine, would require that anyone separated from the military due to refusing the vaccination be given an honorable discharge. Now, I very highly doubt that's going to pass.
Well, it would go against everything. I mean, it would lessen the severity of not getting it if they did that.
Right.
So I doubt it either. I'll tell you this. I think that, when Republicans take over in a few years, I bet it gets reversed.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
For sure.
Trump could have walked into office in the first day with an executive order making weed legal and telling them to release everybody that was in prison for it right now.
Yeah.
Which is like a big, big part of the fucking prison population. I think 30% or some shit.
But this is different.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because it's soldiers?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, this
Do you
is...
think people, I think you're assigning too much value in modern culture to that.
Yeah, I mean, but, like, this is kind of fucked. Like, this piece is fucked, right? Because it's not like it's not like you joined knowing you had to get the COVID vaccine.
Right, yeah.
So, I think it's different. It's a different talking point, right? Like, they didn't join knowing, and I think that if anybody doesn't want to get the vaccine, they should let them get out with an honorable discharge and...
Yeah.
Hey, look, we changed the rules, so we're allowing you to get out. These are the rules going forward. Either accept them or get out with an honorable discharge. We're not going to fuck with your life.
Yeah, that would be certainly more appropriate.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, back in the day when weed was legal or illegal, they knew it was illegal. They broke the law. It's a little different than this. Obviously, it's a dumb law,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of dumb laws.
Speaking of drugs, onto the first responder and medical fields. A survey conducted by the Ohio Nurses Association found that nearly 30% of nurses at UC Health, that's the largest health center in the world, would choose to quit should a vaccine mandate be implemented in their health system. It was conducted between August 5th and 12th of this year, found that 136 out of the 456 who responded said they would choose to quit over compliance. A poll conducted in April by the Washington Post and Kaiser Family Foundation reported that 1 in 6 healthcare workers, about 16%, said they would rather leave their job. That's nationwide. September 27th deadline for New York's healthcare vaccination mandate recently passed, but the total number of workers who resigned remains to be seen. In response to the New York mandate, the number of vaccinated healthcare workers rose from 77% to 95%, so quite a bit. However, some workers were still refusing to reply. At the time of this episode, just under 5,000 workers had yet to receive the vaccine. That's 5,000 people that work in hospitals in the state of New York
It's a lot.
that are going to go away, right? And that's going to improve their situation somehow. Strong Memorial Hospital in New York reported that out of 16,000 employees, less than 300 had failed to get vaccinated. So that's a big one, I guess. The Chief Operating Officer of that hospital, Kathleen Sumword, said some are still very scared, so they need hand-holding reassurance. What the fuck are you talking
What the fuck does
about?
that mean?
She stated that a number of hospital employees were unconvinced about the safety or efficacy of the vaccine, but still got the shot to avoid losing their jobs.
Man, it's our choice.
That's a big fucking statement right there. They leveraged fear and held the livelihood over their head to make them do something they were uncomfortable with. That's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
That is super fucked up. And the woman just said it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
At the new Hyde Park-based Northwell Health, the largest healthcare provider in New York State, 24 employees at management level or above were terminated due to their refusal to get vaccinated.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you have to choose your battles.
I agree.
And what's it at, right? Like, is this your battle? Like, if it's your battle, fucking pick it. Like, that's the part of I mean, whatever your fucking battle is, that's on you to pick it, right?
Yep.
I mean, when are you not challenged? People challenge fucking everything every fucking day.
Yeah.
Pick your fucking battles.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to say to do something because I do what I want, and I don't work for anybody, and nobody can come tell me to do shit. You know what I mean? So telling somebody to leave their job or allow themselves to be fired over something that probably isn't that risky, at least statistically, it doesn't look like it's that risky. I don't know. That seems very presumptuous of me to tell somebody to do that, but I would. There's no goddamn question in my mind that I would not take that shit.
Yeah.
But I don't expect everybody to operate from the same, obviously we're in very different situations, especially if you're a healthcare worker or a police or a current service member who's facing a dishonorable discharge.
Yep.
But again, I would absolutely fucking take it. They could suck my dick, and I would tell them that, and probably make a T-shirt about it.
Yeah.
So, in a statement released by Northwell, who fired over 24 management level people, they said, "We are now beginning the process to exit the rest of our unvaccinated staff. Northwell wants to reassure the public that during this time there will be no impact on the quality of patient care at any of our facilities. We are proud that our workforce is already nearly 100% vaccinated."
It's crazy.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. I don't know how large this organization is, but 24 management level people were gone already, and they did that, by the way, to intimidate the rest of the workers. You know that, right? That's the only reason they did the managers first.
It's an example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, a lot of people are still telling them to go fuck themselves. But this is Joe Biden saying to the president of Afghanistan, "Oh, it's going to be okay. We didn't pull out of Bagram." This is a lie right here. They're not going to be able to provide the same level of care with less fucking people.
Nope.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. And there's no accountability to that.
Zero.
New York Presbyterian also saw a number of employees leave due to the mandate. Out of 48,000 staff members, 250 refused to comply and were terminated as of September 23rd. Another hospital in New York, Lewis County Health System, recently announced they will stop delivering babies at their facility due to the number of employees that have resigned over the vaccine mandate. But you're going to get the same level of care.
Same level of care.
You stupid fuck. Jesus Christ. They should just end... They should end every statement they make with, "You stupid motherfucker." Like, hey, we really care about how you're doing in life, you stupid motherfucker, because it'd be a lot more accurate, wouldn't it?
Or, haha, gotcha.
Yeah. Fucking idiots. Jesus Christ. What did the politicians are cunts. The media.
Some
cunts.
of them or all of them?
All of them.
Yeah.
According
Did you make
to
a shirt on that?
yeah, it's on the story there. Let's see. Gerald Kyer, maybe, chief executive of the hospital in Lewis County Health System, said in an interview, "We are unable to safely staff the service after September 14th. The number of
24th.
24th. What the fuck?
I'm a doctor.
Yeah. The number of resignations received leaves us no choice but to pause delivering babies at Lewis County General Hospital. According to Lewis County Health System, 30 of the 165 employees resigned after refusing to get vaccinated. The total number of healthcare workers that will resign or be terminated due to the vaccine mandates is currently unknown, but some models say that hospitals will probably lose or may lose around 15% of their staff. Now, this is an honest question for any of you hospital administrators out there. If you can do the same amount of work with 15% less staff, what the fuck is that 15% of staff doing? Now, I understand the 80-20 rule, but that seems like maybe we're wasting some money on healthcare.
I mean, as a doctor, Dan.
I'm going to kill myself.
As a doctor, what I don't understand is you have, like they're already talking about how all these healthcare systems are overwhelmed.
Yeah. No, it's only relevant when it works for them.
Like it's overwhelmed and like, but now you're going to fire.
And the reason was because not enough people started to believe, and look, they're doing polling on this stuff all the time. People started to understand the numbers and that only 0.03% of people were fucking dying from this shit. So they were like, well, it's overrun in hospitals, so people are dying from other stuff. The only reason that became a quote-unquote fact, and it's a tautology, it's not even a real fucking fact, is because it was convenient for their fucking narrative. But that shit was never true either. What was that story here in Texas? where the media ran with the story like, oh, there's only one hospital bed left in all of Texas. What is this, the fucking Highlander? There could be only one? Shut the fuck up.
So here,
And the guy who said it, their source, wasn't even a doctor at that place anymore. He just fucking made it up. Jesus Christ.
so here's the only number I will give. This is the only number I will give.
Is it your phone number?
No, never, not giving that. So this is coming from Kentucky numbers, right? So since the COVID-19 vaccine, there has been 20,827 new COVID cases that have been hospitalized in the state of Kentucky. 94.7% of them were unvaccinated.
Wait, say that again.
94.7% of those 20,827 cases of COVID hospitalized were unvaccinated.
Okay.
So that's all I'm going to say about it. I think that if you've already got it, 100% the science says that your antibodies override the vaccine.
About 20x.
For sure.
It's
But if you haven't got it,
13 for infection, I think, and
For
then
sure.
26 for like serious side effects.
Yeah.
But either way, it's way better. I mean, that's just
For
that,
sure.
That science is clear. This is not like some kind of.
but this is also for the at-risk population,
yeah.
right? Like this is for the at-risk population.
Right.
So there's that.
So you're telling me at risk, still 5.5% of vaccinated people who are at risk are having major health complications.
I don't know. I can't do those numbers. I'm just a doctor.
Well, you know how it is. I'm going to go through some of these comments here. Valerie V says the mandates turn healthcare workers against each other.
Yep.
She's a travel nurse, and the pro-vax people are attacking anybody that wants there to be an option. It's really rare that you see that. People in respiratory therapy are calling the unvaccinated the enemy now.
That's crazy.
Et cetera, et cetera. Mr. Martinez says, if you feel the vaccine is the best choice for you, then please do it. I did it myself. It was the best choice I had at the time. But that being said, if people choose not to get it, I absolutely think that it should be in no way should it affect their livelihood. Agree.
For sure. But and here's the other thing that we haven't seen the effects of yet, right? So when they're understaffed because of the 15% they're going to lose, right? The healthcare. Right. Well, then what are they going to have to do to fill those positions? Pay extra.
Yeah.
And then who do you think those costs are going to come down on?
Us, yeah. Something Family Adventures, SZILAGY. I have no idea how to say that. This person says, isn't this essentially their goal? Get rid of those who won't comply with tyranny, so the ones remaining are the ones who will comply with unconstitutional laws they implement. Yes, that is the goal. They've made a critical mistake, and it's one they've made just within the last 25 years, actually. When Bremer and Tommy Franks just told all the Iraqi police and Iraqi army dudes to go home when we invaded that country. We created an insurgency there.
Yeah.
Like we did that.
Yeah.
That was us. That was Paul Bremer, and it was fucking Tommy Franks that did that shit.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Dick Cheney as well. They're idiots.
You're a real fan of Dick Cheney.
Yeah. Sending a bunch of dudes who have been murdering people on a global scale for the last 20 years and collecting guns at a rate higher than any point in human history, by the way, probably not the best idea, is all I'm saying.
For sure.
Like, just because we're not part of the fucking organization anymore doesn't mean we've stopped fighting people. Anyways.
Yeah. Colton, that's great. If saying just one life is so important, why isn't insulin free? Yes.
Yeah. Well, the guy who was the CEO of the main AIDS medication, remember he jacked it up by like 800%? Finally, he went to jail. He's the only person I've ever heard of in the pharmaceutical industry actually going to jail for some of the fucked up shit they've done.
Yeah.
To recap all this, that last comment was absolutely correct. That is their goal, is to divide and separate us. And obviously it's not working, as Dakota said earlier. It's mostly just introducing people that are like-minded that you wouldn't have thought were like-minded, like that basketball player down in Orlando, or fucking Nicki Minaj, of all people, right?
Yeah.
People who are like, hey, I thought this is, it's like Randy Marsh. I thought this is America, but
Well-
seriously, I thought this was America.
Well, here's where they fuck up, right?
Yeah.
Is when they keep going on it. Like the what I think's pretty interesting about all this is the more the left has to come in and try to do more, right? Like the more they have, like if I just throw out, you need to get vaccinated. Being vaccinated will make you safer. If I leave it at that, you know what it allows us to do? Fucking argue. It allows us to interpret what all that means. What is safe? What's not safe? What are the numbers, right? But then the more they have to come in and they get asked these questions and they tell a little bit more on themselves, you get Nicki Minaj coming out, right? Like it like people are like, oh, I thought it meant something else.
Yeah.
You really meant this?
Yeah.
Like you're a fucking idiot, right? So the left is so stupid on this.
Yeah.
This
they're
is
dumb.
atrocious.
But all these, in hindsight, all these authoritarians were, to some degree or another, pretty stupid in the way they executed things. Other than maybe Mao, he held it together pretty well.
Yeah.
Hitler was crazy doing fucking like 2 grams of meth a day towards the end, trying to fight.
Do you think you could
two-front
keep
war.
up with that?
No,
Yeah.
no, he's the all-time meth king. It's either him or Tiger King, one of those two. He did that. Stalin was like deeply paranoid, and would have been. I mean, it's a shock he didn't get assassinated by one of his buddies, like years
Yeah.
into his thing. Same thing with Saddam Hussein. He had fucking family members killed all the time. These despots usually pick off or bite off way more than they can chew. And Mao didn't do it because China was isolated, and who the fuck was going to go over there and say something to him about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Elijah, no, Nicki Minaj is not a doctor.
But here in America, they're making just such a. It's always the tragic mistake of the aristocracy, and only tragic for them, by the way, not us. Tragic mistake of the aristocracy that they think that their power is anything more than a delusion. Right? It is a delusion. Because it can be taken away just by us all collectively agreeing. They're the reverse Tinkerbell. Right?
Yeah.
If we all pay attention and imagine that they shouldn't have that power immediately goes away. And they are a smaller, untrained group of geriatrics, typically.
For sure.
So how do you think that fight's going to go? If you want to see how the fight's going to go, stay tuned, because it's coming. And until then, we'll see you in hell.
I'll see you in hell.